Hello everyone, I got distracted for just a second and I looked up and it's telling me you need to go live. I'm like, oh, no wonder there's people saying good morning already. Hello Deborah, hello Mira, is that how you pronounce your name? Hello. Hopefully I got that pronounced correctly. Oh my goodness, you guys. First of all, my name is Alisa Tilsner. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia and I have dodgy internet at the moment. So I'm hoping, and this curl won't curl properly. I'm hoping that my internet is now stable. About 5 minutes ago, it was lagging and I just kept getting a black circle on my screen and I'm like, no. So I've shut down my iPad because I'm working off my iPad and my iPhone. I shut that all down, still having messy stuff. So I switched, I've got two. I've got the 5G connection and I've got I guess it's the regular standard one. So I flipped over to the regular standard one and I'm crossing fingers that it is all going to be okay. So good morning. We are going to be playing again with the Abundant Beauty decorative masks. These masks, I love them. I'm having so much fun with them. I know that we've played with them before, but I wanted to come on and play with them again because can you believe there's 7 masks in here? So there's the 4 which layer into our gorgeous sunflowers, and then there's 3 background ones. So there's 7 masks all up, and if you're in Australia, it's only, that's the houndstooth, and then we've got some acorn and leaves. And then we've got some snowflakes. So there's stuff in there to suit everybody. But if you're in Australia, they're only $18.50. Can you believe that? And they are just so versatile. They are awesome. And I hope that Stampin' Up! Continues to bring out more masks like these because they are so much fun. I think you can almost do a little bit more technique-y stuff with them than you can with stamps. So loving it. And we are also playing with a color challenge. I don't know whether you can see all of them. My petal pink looks a bit faded here, but we're going for lemon lily, which you guys know is my favorite color. Petal pink, moody mauve, coastal cabana, and lost lagoon. So let me get this camera turned around. Good morning to everyone coming in. We've got Priscilla and Narelle. Kelly is coming in. Welcome. Okay, let me get this swung around. See, before when I was trying to come on while I'm setting up, it wouldn't even let me switch cameras over. It was lagging that badly. So I am crossing my fingers. I'm crossing everything that it is going to play nicely with me today. So I do have a little bit of a card in my head. So we'll play with that, but I might have to actually bring this in. I'm only going to play with the big circle that we've got here. Oh, and before I get started, I just want to say I did pop it in I'm learning to put things in the description. But if you are new, welcome. I have a weekly newsletter that goes out on Fridays in my time, in Australian time. But as we're creating our cards, I won't give measurements or anything like that. So if you want the measurements for this particular card that we're making today, make sure you're signed up for my newsletter, which is alisatilsner.com. You'll see the subscribe button on there. Sign up for the newsletter because I will write this out as a written tutorial for you with all of the measurements, all of the supplies, so you can just print it out and either go from the recreate your card in either the written format or follow along with me on the video. So do head over, not now, head over afterwards. I'll pop it up a couple of other times so that you get the address, but it is in the descriptions as well. So make sure you head on over there and get that. Okay, so I'm just going to play with this big one. So I'm not going to, I've only just got a small piece of card to play on. So I'm going to use my Moody Mauve first. And I will say that I'm also streaming to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So if you see me answering questions or anything, if you have questions, please feel free to pop them into the comments as well and I can get to them. Now, I've got a fair bit of ink on my blending brush already, so I'm just going to lightly tap that in because I don't want it too heavy. And I've also got just one of those microfiber cloths off to the side, so I'm just going to dab that on just to get off a little bit of any excess. And starting in the middle, And I'm just going to put colour on that area there. I haven't worried about taping anything down. I'm just going to trust myself that I don't muck anything up. Okay, and then I'm going to pop my petal pink around the outside, and I did just re-ink that one, so this should be quite vibrant. Okay, so careful not to move anything, and I'm actually going to start, because I'm not sure how much ink I've put in it, so I'm going to start off. No, I'm okay. Like start on my plastic and bring it on, because I wasn't sure how much ink I had. So hopefully these two will blend together and produce a nice color. So I was thinking I could do like yellow sunflower with these colors in the center, but I thought, hey, let's do it around the other way. I'm just going to pop a little bit more Moody Mauve on there. Just deepen that center up a little bit. There we go. Let's see what we get. And I love this because every time, you know, you can sort of get an idea of what you've got, but until you actually lift that mask up, then you know what you've got. And you're going to have to excuse me because my lazy son is just getting in the shower and the pump is right next to my craft room. Okay. Ta-da! Have a look at that. That's quite pretty. It's probably a little bit dull on your screen, but in real life it looks pretty cool. And then to wash these, I either just, like, if I'm going to switch colors, I'll do it straight away, but often I might be a little bit lazy, but I'll just take it under the sink, run it under the tap. But if you've got a water spritzer next to you, you can just do that, or I'm just using my microfiber cloth just to wipe it off. Don't use permanent inks on these because they will stain your ink pad, so your mask, so we don't want to do that. Now I did 2 layers of, I'm thinking I'm going to do 2 layers of the lemon lolly. Where is my, oh, there it is. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Hello Phyllis, welcome. So I'm going to do, this one's the solid one, so I'm just going to go quite lightly. Well, I'm going to try and go lightly, you guys know. If you know me, I struggle with light, but I'm going to do just lightly because otherwise my second one may not show up over the top. So now I can really go for it with my color. Okay. Because after they've dried, they settle in. So I'm just using the same color, just going over it twice. And because I did one in light and the other one on the second one, it should be fine just to use the same color for them. And I've popped a few little tips up on my Facebook page about these masks as well, because these guys, they have a little V. Let's see if I can get that. They have a little V in there. So if you're using a bigger cardstock, or if you're using cardstock like this and you want to line it up a little bit more precisely, you can just put a mark on your page. Here's my V. And then when it comes time to do my second one, I'll just pop that V back into my pencil mark, and away we go. And they're all lined up and they are all numbered. So there is no mistaking which way, you know, which order you need to go in. Okay, so I am now going to, I think I might grab a couple of these ones, and I've got another little tip for you. You may have seen it on my Facebook. And I'm actually going to say that I have done a little bit of stuff ahead of time as well. Hello, Beth from the UK. Oh my gosh, Beth, what time is it for you? All right, so I'm just going to pop these down here. So this one's in Coastal Cabana. I've already done some bigger ones that I'm using from the other day, actually. So I'm just going to pop one on there. Hello, Fiona. Okay, so now this was another tip that I gave on my Facebook page, but I want a couple of leaves that are facing, you know, in the other direction. So all you have to do is flip that mask over and go again. So much easier than with a stamp. With the stamp, you have to do that reflection technique to get the opposite side. Look at that. There we go. 2 leaves, 1 in each direction. So easy. So there you have it. And I think some of the flowers on that mask too face in different directions. So if you wanted some of these flowers to face the other way, boom, just turn your mask over, turn all your masks over and go for it like that. So I do have to cut these out. So while I am cutting, I'm just going to let you know of a few things. Let me get my brand thing up. I released, because you don't need to see me cutting, you can look at my picture. Yesterday I released a brand new blends colouring class. So I good old Saint Nick, we've coloured him in. So this colouring in, I introduce you to a new colouring technique, and I've used blends, and then I've used pencils over the top of it. That's not the technique that I've used to show you. There's another technique called underpainting, and that's what I've used to create a lot of the shadow and darker areas of these images. So this is available. I do have a Facebook group called Blends and Beyond as well, so you might like to come and join that. We're growing in numbers quite rapidly, so you guys are finding me somewhere and coming along and joining. So it's just a place you can share your love of colouring in as well. So if you are looking to improve your colouring, come join us. And also, while I am colouring, because I'm still cutting stuff out, while I'm colouring, I've got colouring on the brain. While I am cutting out my flowers, we also have the great, amazing joining offer. So if you missed out on the free postage that we've had for the last 3 days, the starter kit has got free postage in it. So you might like to think about that. So we've got either 35% off your starter kit or 35% more in your starter kit. So there is a little bit of math involved, but if you're interested in finding out which is the best deal, I think the 35% off is you actually get more free stuff with the more side, but value-wise, you get 2.1 times more value in the 35% off and 1.8 times. Anyway, I'm not going to go into it. It's a little bit of a math brain. So, but anyway, whichever one suits you the most, we would love to have you join us. I'm going to get rid of that. Oops, wait, what did I do? Pressing all the buttons here. Come back to here. Okay, so Deborah bought the colouring class. Hello, Phyllis, you're brand new to card making. Oh, that's so exciting. Watch out, you'll get addicted in no time. Well, hopefully, I'm actually today going to show a basic card on like unstuck, and then we're going to step it up a little bit. So hopefully you'll find that helpful. And Deborah is going to do her colouring class on the weekend. I hope you've had a little peek at the videos to see. I'd love to see what you think of it. So I'd love to know what you think. And I just got the Fairy Friends, the brand. We've got a brand new stamp sets coming next month, and I've just got them yesterday. So, okay. So Phyllis is in Florida. I am in a tiny little town called Port Lincoln, in South Australia. Okay, so I have actually gone ahead and done these ahead of time because I thought I don't want to bore you too much cutting all of them out. It's bad enough listening to me waffle while I do cut things out. Okay, so I've got 3 of them going on, and I'm just choosing the big ones. I've got my 2 leaves both facing the other way. I use them, and then so I've covered all of my color combination challenge things. Okay, so I'm going to work with a white card base. Here we go. So I'm just going to score that. Awesome. Good, Deborah. I'm really glad. So, and then I've got a layer of designer series paper, and this is really, really bold paper. Okay. It's from the Zany Zoo side, and I thought, let's have some really bold black. In this color challenge, you are allowed to have neutrals as well. And then I've got a layer of white. So that's going to tone it down and not look so like woohoo in your face. And then we're going to pop our flowers around. And then I've got these 4 leaves that I can choose to pop around as well. I thought I would give myself a little variety of whether I wanted large or small ones. I might have to put a large one up the top there maybe. They're quite a pointy type of leaf here. Maybe I'll put 2 down there. So I'm thinking something like that. Okay, so what I normally do, especially for Phyllis because she's new to card making, is I usually just lay everything down to start with, and then before I stick anything, make sure I'm absolutely happy with what I'm going to do. So I thought I would do my sentiment on black, and I'm going to white emboss on black. So you know what, Phyllis, that is really, really helpful that you have said that you are brand new, because now I can make sure that I explain everything as we go. So I'm going to, well, it depends on how brand new you are. So I'm just going to push that off to the side a little bit. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to use a Versamark ink pad, which is a nice sticky ink pad. And then we're going to emboss it. So we've got to pour a powder over the top, and then we're going to heat it with a heat tool, and that is going to melt the powder and give us a beautiful bold white sentiment on our black. So, and then we just pop that away. Now I have got a little bit of shadowing on here, so I'm just going to grab a paintbrush and just flick that off. Right. I am going to cut it out, so it probably didn't matter so much, but I like to get rid of any strays. Okay, put that aside. Okay, so now I'm just going to bring in the heat tool. Our weather here is crazy. Yesterday we had mid-30s and windy, and then it got cold, and now it is cold and raining. Crazy weather. I hate this time of the year where it's trying to change seasons. All right, there we go. Beautiful happy birthday. And that one was from the Artistically Inked stamp set. Okay, and I do use a naughty trimmer that isn't Stampin' Up, but that's okay. Right, so I'm going to do a fairly thin, I'm going to keep this fairly tight. Oh, I've got glue on there somewhere too. Yeah, I feel everything sticking. So I'm not going to allow this to breathe. I'm just going to trim it. All my scraps go on the floor. Okay, and this way, by keeping this fairly thin, I can allow all those beautiful flowers that we have blended up to shine. Whoops, that one was a little bit close. Nearly cut my H. Rain's just starting to fall there. Oh, it's very intermittent here, but yeah. So I'm going to pop that just like that. So now, for a beginner class, or if you are short on time, that is probably, you know, you could probably stop there and be quite happy with that card, I reckon. But let's take it a little bit further. So if you want to get past the beginner stage and you want to move on a little bit more, I've pulled out another stamp set, and I thought, I haven't got, mind you, I have not got a lot of room here, okay? So I'm going to just pull that off, and I thought, let's just do some delicate stamping in the background. So from the Quiet Meadows stamp set, I'm going to have the text, which is really pretty. And I'm just going to pop that in. So even actually that looks pretty, I thought that that would look too stark, but that actually looks pretty good like that, nice and bold. But if we want to soften it, so you could do that, make it nice and bold, just make sure I'm up the right way. And then I'm just going to gently stamp. So I'm just going to stamp one impression in full, and the second one is going to be in the half. So you can see it's just faint. So we'll do that a couple of times. I've got an idea that I'll be able to see it here. I'll be able to see it down here. Oops, oh, I stamped that one upside down. Do you think anyone will notice? Oh dear. So I've got one up the right way and one upside down. Oh, man. Oh, dear me, actually. Oh, yeah. So I think I might give a little bit, hopefully being that, hopefully, hi Lynn, hopefully that being covered mostly will detract from that little boo-boo. Let's put some dots on there as well. That might detract it a little bit more. Dots and stripes, do you reckon they'll be fine? Where we go. No one will ever notice. No one will ever be the wiser. Oopsies. Oopsies happen. All right. And that's how you fix them. You just cover them over. Okay, so I'm going to pop a tiny little bit of petal pink just around the edges. So it's going to transform the card from something really big and bold to something a little bit gentle. So it's still an easy card, but it's perhaps just a little bit of a step up from a beginner style card. Okay, so sometimes I'll start off with just the simple, and then I'll think, what can I add to it that will just enhance it a little bit more. Okay, I think I'm done with all of them. I'll shift them all out of the way. So now I will come back to my card and I will reassess where I am. So, da-da-da-da. Alrighty. See, it's just gonna show up. Look, no one's ever gonna know. It's just background filler, just to settle it all down. And I'm gonna have to bring this up because you guys won't be able to see it completely. And then these guys, put two of them under here and you across there. So I'll bring that up. Okay, so you could do that. That would be fine again. Oh, good, Phyllis. I'm glad you. What time? It must be around dinner time for you, I reckon. Okay, so you could stop there. But why don't we go a little bit further? So let's slide them off. I usually like to slide them off to keep them in that sort of formation so I know what they're going to do. Let's wrinkle our edges. So we can have a little bit more. You do have to be careful about what's on the other side when you wrinkle your edges. But if we can just bend it and crunch those little edge up. So this is going to add 8 p.m. Oh, that's a nice time. It's just going to add a little bit to your card. And we might just wrinkle one. We'll give it a fairly good crinkle. So I'm just going to roll that backwards and forwards, just gentle, you know, not too vigorously, and then we can just scrunch it like that. Okay, and then we can actually pop that on a little bit of an angle. Now, angles might freak you out. That's okay. You don't have to put it on an angle. You've got two other ideas so far, and then we can wrinkle these edges. So I'm just rolling and breaking all those fibers. And then I'll do the other end as well. So let's get them all broken. They don't all have to be the same. Like this one's not gonna, I'm just gonna let that one do its thing. Okay, and then I'm going to put that on a different angle. And then, I know this is probably long-winded, but this is how I do my cards. And then we can come back and go, okay, we've got a completely different looking card now than what we had when we first started out. And I haven't really done much to it. I've just added a little bit of stamping and a little bit of distressing. So now our card's taken on a whole different feel again. Phyllis, I go live every Thursday, which is your Wednesday night, at the same time. So whatever time it's like, normally it's 10 a.m. for me. So I'm not sure what that time is for you. So that's probably 7:30 p.m. for you. But do come over. So that's what my card's going to look like now. So very different to what we started with. So I think I'm happy with that, and I am going to start adhering things down. And you know what? I may even pop a little bit of, it's just outside my reach. I've been enjoying the Simply Elegant trim, the gold and the silver. So I'm thinking I might put a little bit of that behind my trim as well. So Phyllis, if you like, I'm not sure what time you came in, but I do have a blog over at alisatilsner.com. If you head over there, you can sign up for my newsletter, and the card that I'm making right now will go out as a written tutorial. So you can grab everything that you need there. So I'll get rid of that. Come back here. Thank you, Rose. So just adding a few more steps. So this is how you can go from, okay, I'm passing my beginner stage. I want to do a few more things. Even if Alisa does stamp things upside down, they still work out okay. So, but just to add a few little extra things without adding a whole lot of, you know, just changing things, changing your straight layers to angled layers and rippling your edges, and just doing little things like that will help enhance your card to the next level. All right, so we're going to pop these down. So, and I can actually come up. Which one did I do today? I think I did this one. And I think I will keep all of these flat. I don't think I will raise any of them. I will raise my sentiment though. So, but I'm putting tape just in the middle, so that way I can come in and slip my leaves in underneath. So just bend that down a little bit. He's interfering. So there we go. And then definitely know I want him to go up there, so we can just see how you can just lift up the flower and pop them under. When you don't have adhesive all the way, you can do that easily. And my other leaf, I'll pop him down maybe under here. Whoops, that's under all the layers. There we go. So that one was in Lost Lagoon. I didn't show you me doing those, but that one was in Lost Lagoon, and these ones were in Coastal Cabana. And then I'll pop these ones, I'll pop these two. I could have done another third one of those, but just because I'm playing along with that color challenge, and I wanted to show you how to flip your mask over so that you could get, even though I'm using them in this way. Okay, so there's my card. Perhaps could have gone up a little bit. I'm quite heavy at the bottom. That's okay. All right, so now I am going to put a little bit of my silver. You know, I don't think I've gone through as much of this twine as I have, like, I've only had it for about a month, I reckon, and I'm going through it quite fast. So I'm just going to put a bit of tape on the back of this, and we are going to do some loops behind it. So just loop it around, let it fall as it will. Try and get a figure 8 happening. Shall we do a few? Sometimes it'll go nicely as a figure 8. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes it wants to be a pain in the neck. But I've learnt if you don't fight with it, just let it do its own thing. Life is so much easier. There we go. So I've got my little figure 8, double figure 8 going on. You can stick down just a bit more for me. Okay. Hello, Betty. Welcome. Betty's from Canada. We are a full-on global thing at the moment. Now, did Beth come back and tell me what time it was in the UK? I know that it would have been a really silly time. It would have been like 2 a.m. or something for you, Beth, which is crazy. Okay, I'm remembering this time black dimensionals so that we don't, oops, just going to throw them around. So I will pop on my black dimensionals. I'm going to use a few of them because I've got a bit of bulk going on there. Make sure everything is stuck down. So these are just little foam mounts that raise things up. Gives a little bit of height and dimension to your card making. Oh, Ruth is still up too. Oh my goodness. Is it 2 a.m.? It must be around 2 a.m. Okay, and then we're going to pop that across our flowers there. Hopefully get them nice and straight, hopefully. Now, some of you may have seen this little tip already, but because I've got a bit of rusticness going on, what I'm going to do is fray the ends of my ribbon, my twine here. So if you just grab it, say if I want to, depending on how much you want to fray, and I'm sorry if I can't show you properly, I'm going to grab it with my thumb fingernail and just pull, and that actually frays the tip of it. It doesn't break, like nothing comes off, like there's no twine coming off in my hands, but it just separates all those little ends and makes it all fluffy. So I'm going to do that to this one as well. If I can grab it, might have to do it down here. So you just pinch it with your thumbnail and just keep pulling, and that gives you a really lovely frayed look, which will help because I've got all that distressed look going on with my card. And then I think just because, you know, you can never have too much bling, and I'm just going to use plain old rhinestones, and because they've sort of got that silvery look to them, so I think that's going to suit me quite nicely. Okay, I need a little tool here. I'm going to use a big one, pop them down here. My go-to is usually 3. So, and I don't know why I always do 3. I'm not stingy, really. I put 7 on a card the other night, so it's not like I'm stingy or anything. It's just, for some reason, I always just do 3. So there we have. Okay, in real life, it is really quite, it's looking a little bit dull on the screen, I'll say that. The colours are a little bit muted and they're not bold, bright, but I think that they are still quite nice. I'm just feeling that it's a little bit on the downside, but I don't think there's anything I can do about that now. I feel like it needs to be pushed up a little bit, but maybe I can pull this one up a little bit. I think she's stuck down there though. Oh, here we go. Can I do it? Pull that up, but then I'll have to, oh, you know what? I shouldn't have touched anything. I shouldn't have touched it. Now I'm ruining everything. Okay, don't do what Alisa does. Just, you know, goodness sakes. Okay, there we go. I've saved it. I've lost a dimensional in there, but I've still saved it. I'm a little bit happy with that. So there we have it. It's not so far down, just coming up, just a smidge. Anyway, be careful when you do things like that because I nearly ruined it all. But that's okay. So there we go. There is another fun card with, I honestly, I just love them. And you know what? Ruth is still watching. These would be amazing in Ruth's, what do you call them? The one sheet wonders, the stamped one sheets. Is that what you call them, Ruth? They would be amazing to have these as your big, bold, focal image. And then it would take a little bit longer because you're ink blending instead of stamping, but I reckon that would be a really pretty base, a starter for one of those one sheet things that Ruth does. Very pretty. Okay, I think that's it. Yes, Deb, you have to put it on your wish list. I do. There's one more thing that I want to play with this. I've seen it and I was scrolling through. I don't even know what platform it was on, and I cannot find it again. But I think I've told you once before, but they outlined each of the petals with a black mark, like a black fine tip marker. And that looked really stunning as well. So I want to try that one more time before oh, do you know what? I tore my card under there. No wonder that won't stick. I've got to fix that. Maybe I'll fix that off screen. Okay, that is it from me. I will swing around. So thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to have to go and recurl that front bit. Thanks very much for joining me. I will be here again next Thursday. Everything going well. And yeah, I'm going to keep playing with this for a little bit longer, and I have got some new stuff to show you. Maybe next week we'll play with them. Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.